Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Since Dennis is gonna stay on our screens, I did like how he came onto her confessional. That was cute. Um, I wish production would have asked Dennis, did he hear what Portia said about Charles Oakley in the pool back in Nashville? We need somebody to stir the pot since y'all got rid of Kenya Summer Moore. And when is Portia and Dennis gonna get back together? I mean, we need a storyline, Portia. We can't just you can't just keep attacking Drew and now Charles just because you can't film at your house and talk about Simon. I mean, girl, where are those sheets at? Where is the naked hair? We need a fashion show, a hair show. We need something. This ain't gonna get it, girl. And another thing, Portia, your confessionals and your scenes are not adding up. You tell the truth in your confessionals and then you lie on screen. Get it together, girl. Besties, welcome. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha and get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It is season Sweet 16, episode 9. Blame it on the Henny. Do we like the title? That's cute. And besties, how would you rate this week's episode? To me, it's let's just be real. Real Housewives of Atlanta is going down like a sinking ship. Oh, it's going down. I don't know what Phaedra is gonna bring to this. With her, don't want to share herself with us. Self. Okay. I don't see how she's gonna fit in, but let's see what they do, honey. Drop down the comments, besties. Please let me know what you thought about this week's episode. Please like my video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And I want to say thank you to the new subscribers. I see you. I don't know if I'm seeing all of you, but I see a few. I don't want to call out names because I don't want to miss anybody. But just to let you know, I'm watching the numbers. I'm getting up there. I'm getting close to 300. The goal is to get to 1,000. Let's share the video. Friends, coworkers, family, ex-boyfriends, good Judies. Share. And please make sure your notification bell is on so that you know each and every time I post my content. Now, child, let's get into it. So Cynthia meets up with Shami and Kelly. It's kind of like a montage because she's going to go back and forth between Shami and Kelly and Angela and then Portia. So, wait a minute. She's talking to Kelly and Shamia. Okay. So, Portia, when she meets up with Portia, Portia tells her she don't remember saying that. And she was like, girl, just blame it on the Hennessy. And I'm like, you don't remember saying it. You knew you was drunk. Girl. So she said I would never do that. And I'm like, girl, let's ask Fallon about that, honey, because we know that you have done it and you will do it because that is your spirit, is who you are. And now I'm thinking about it. Maybe that's why Dennis don't want to be bothered, but I really want him to confront her about that. That would be so good. Okay, so Shamia shared a text with the group, just Kelly and Cynthia. She got a text from Angela, and Angela was pretty much saying, with all that disrespect and this and that, there's nothing else that needs to be said. This is a fake beep sisterhood. The morals and the values are not aligning, and it's all good though. Be blessed, sis. Be blessed. And it's like, oh, okay. So Cynthia is now going to host her Bailey Q. She does this every 4th of July, but now that Juneteenth is an official holiday, she does it for Juneteenth. Okay, so over at Kelly's, well, that ain't her house, but it's a park. This girl is throwing a big old birthday bash, a luxury birthday bash for her dog. We don't know how old Cha Cha is turning. Cha Cha has been in the salon for 9 hours, getting her hair done, getting it colored, getting her lashes. Child, the way I hollered, she got those lashes, they're above her eyes. They like in a weird place on her head. It's like, why do you have those on that baby? Take them off. It's too much stuff on that little dog. That dog ain't no more than 5 pounds. Now let's come on now. The baby got jewelry. She said in the after show that there's stickers because she got little rhinestone, little studs in her ears. And people was coming at her thinking that she really pierced her ears. She was like, you think that that's all she would be wearing if I had her ears pierced? And it's like, she's right. So, sometimes the baby gets her nails painted. She had gotten a massage. And so production asked, how much did you spend? She was like, over $1,000. There's a dog show. And it's very well attended, honey. It's a whole bunch of dogs there. She just got this over the top decor like it is a human's birthday party, right? So here come Britt with Mimosa. Mimosa didn't even touch the ground, okay? Britt was holding Mimosa the whole time. So Britt tells Kelly that her mom is going to go ahead and sell her house and she's going to move in with them. And they did discuss this in the earlier episodes. Her sister Cher, is that her name, Cher? Yeah. She's going to help with the packing because remember, they talked at dinner, they reconciled, and they're moving forward. So, but since the Kenya incident, she just had to bring Kenya's name up. And if I was Kenya, I'd have served her with a cease and desist. Girl, keep my name out your mouth on this national television platform. Let it go. Leave me alone. You mention my name, you're going to have to pay me. Okay? So since that happened, both of us, all the sisters kind of have gotten, well, no, the older sister has came to her rescue and, they talk more. But the older sister does not fool with the middle sister, who is Shar. Don't fool with her. Shar is taking their dad's passing away. She is taking that the hardest and she lashes out at everybody, even the mother. We saw that coming up, right? So okay, so those two sisters are at odd, and Britt is in the middle, and she just misses, how things used to be when their father was around. Kelly says they caught Cynthia up on the Nashville trip because she went to bed that night at the pool. Cynthia went to bed, so she don't know what happened, and so she let her know she's having a Bailey Q. So over at Portia's old house that she gave to her mama, just in case Simon and her don't work out, and they didn't work out, and thank God she kept the house because now she has a place to film. She bought PJ a Pomeranian little puppy. And Portia explains that her energy has been low, and she's depressed and sad, and she know PJ is picking up on that, and so she wants to bring a puppy into the equation to just give, I guess, to give PJ some, something to do, somebody, it's just a distraction. But I'm sitting here like, Portia, a puppy? Are you sure? A puppy is going to stress you out some more. All they do is pee around the house, poop, pee, eat, sleep, and eat up everything. Like, you sure that's the distraction you need? How about you just pump your energy up, listen to some self-help podcasts, and get yourself together. So PJ wants to name the puppy Peanut Butter. And so also Portia has said how PJ is at the age where she may request a sibling. And Portia says she does not know where to buy one from. So this dog is the throw off. Okay. So she's telling her sister and her mom, about what happened. So they're talking about the court date, and they have a court date coming up for the divorce. But we know as of today, which is probably a year later, they are not divorced yet. And so Portia tells them about the call that she got about Dennis filming with Drew. And so Portia was like, I wanted to blow my cap. I felt betrayed. And I told him not to do it, and he did it anyway. And so she said she's not going to be too friendly with Dennis. And so they can just talk about Pilar, whatever. So she just, she said, I just wanted him to choose me and PJ right now. And it's like, Portia is just a spoiled brat. Your problem is Dennis's problem. It's not. And he don't feel no ways tired about you marrying that woman's husband, and now your marriage ain't working out. It's kind of your karma. You put out what you get back, honey. And he don't owe you that. He doesn't. What he owes you is child support, some time with that baby, come around, do right, help you out with the baby, whatever. But she's very much giving. Well, I guess I should make this work with you. But she's acting like she's not interested. Cause I guess he's cheated on her. Well, girl, you ain't Portia, you need to clean up your act. That's all I'm gonna say. Cause you are what the old people say, you are a Jezebel. So again, you and Dennis have that in common. So she said she blew her own dinner. She went upstairs. She talked to her second, Lauren, who is Cynthia. And I was like, oh, her sister? Oh, okay. Second Lauren. And then she ended up in a pool having fun until, she was teasing, mimicking Angela about how she sounds like Miss Netta when she says Charles, which is not true. Which is not true. I have not ever heard Angela say Charles. Charles. But if she does, I've had an uncle named Charles, R.I.P. Unc. He just passed away in September. You just say Charles. Sometimes it do come out with a W in it. Sometimes it's Charles, and sometimes it will be Charles. But she don't sound like Miss Netta. So then Portia's narration of what happened gets very murky. And so then she came downstairs saying that I said I'll do something to her husband. I don't remember saying that. Wait a minute. And what baffles me is that the sister or the mother was like, they didn't ask, well, what did you say you was going to do? Because to me, in my mind, Portia's mom has groomed her to be Jezebel. In my mind, it's just giving, girl, get them for the money. Yeah, girl, lay it low, spread it wide, honey. She just gives off them kind of vibes to me. And then she says Angela came down and said, who called me Big Bird? No, girl, that is not what she asked you. Uh-huh. So in her confessional, Portia says she didn't call her that. Then she admits to her mom and Lauren that she said it and she needed her moment to be petty. Girl, we ain't talking about no Big Bird, honey. We want to talk about what you said you would do to Charles. You would go over there and lay it low and spread it wide. That's what we should be talking about. But you want to clean it up in front of your mama and your sister. Okay. So Shamia goes to the surrogacy clinic to see Shadina and meet her new surrogate, Asha. And I was like, Asha, oh goodness, girl, we know you need the money. Okay, we're not gonna get into that. Hi, Asha, but you couldn't have dressed up a little bit, I guess, child. So she's gonna try IVF, and hopefully they can add a new addition to their family by way of Asha. So she checks out on paper and everything else. She's done it before. She has younger kids, and they understand what her mother will be going through. She says she is single. And so they say, well, if you start dating somebody, we need to go over to the checkpoints of that. And I was like, what you mean? I mean, just say it. If you have freaky tails, you need to wear some protection. I mean, isn't that what would be required? You can't tell her not to date. So anyway, they're ready to move forward. Shamia calls her husband on FaceTime to meet Asha, and it's a go. Okay. So over at Angela's, she's working out with Charles. And so she tells him about the trip. And I do not know why, honey. You know, Charles don't give a hot got beep about none of that. Why does she always talk to him about girl stuff? He is such an alpha man. He don't want to hear all that. But she tells him, you're my husband. You're my best friend. I should be talking to you about everything. By the way, I heard that Angela's birthday was yesterday on May 4th. Happy birthday, Angela. She said she turned 44. A lot of people are coming for her age, and she does it with the thing. Okay, because they try to compare her to Portia's age because that's what they were a year apart or something. But the difference, if you compare Portia and Angela, Portia is a ditzy, dingy 20-something year old. That's how she acts. Okay. and she has 20 years of that ditziness. The thing about Angela is, if she really is 44, she is mature and she acts her age. Now, let's take it back to Nashville. When they went to the pool late at night, Cynthia went to bed with her 56, 57-year-old self, 58, whatever. And Angela went to her bedroom too. So that can make her seem older, because if you're just 43 at that time, it seemed like you would have gotten the pool and hung out with the crew. That's all around the same age. But you upstairs talking to Charles on the telephone when they thought you were asleep. Now get this, besties. Sometimes when you hang around an older guy, he will make you feel and act older. But she does, just the menopause ain't helping. And she does look like she looks beautiful. Now, let's, if you're listening, Angela, you are beautiful. You've had a lot of work done. Maybe you've gotten your eyes done to where they look youthful. But if she's 44, guys, she's 44. And what is the big difference between 44 and 54? There ain't too much difference in those in that 10-year gap. You're going through the same stuff: perimenopause, menopause, your joints hurting, your back hurting, your knees hurting, you're hot, uh, you're not being romantic, and you're child. Anyway, what is the difference between 44 and 54? So she talks to Charles about this trip. He does not agree with her inviting Drew. She told me that Britt was speaking for Portia at dinner by the pool. Charles is like, well, let Portia speak for herself. She got a big mouth. He tells Angela she was wrong for asking Portia why did she take that lady's husband. Charles is like, well, how you know that's what happened? And she in the streets, she said the streets be talking, and he said the streets is the worst place to get your tea from, and he would know because he trying to get his name out the streets. Okay, about this baby he allegedly has in New York, some mess. It's about some woman in New York. He know all about that, honey. So she told me to kiss her butt. After that, Charles gonna say, well, you was wrong for asking her that, because that had nothing to do with you. And he said, and then she tells him that Portia said he messing with a girl in New York. And so she was like, now, since I said that, boom, are we still on the Portia train? What you talk about now? What you got to say? And he like, she don't know me. And it don't matter. She said, and you from the west side of Chicago. I want to get a first seat. I want to be in the first row at this fight. Now, come on, Charles. You are not supposed to be edging this on. You are supposed to be, did I say egging this on? You supposed to be protecting Angela. So Angela says and she said, you're easy to smash. She said she could smash you. He talking about, no, she can't. You believe her? I'm like, you believe her? Don't that sound like an ex-player or old cheating, lying husband? You believe her? He ain't denied it. He just said, no, she can't. He ain't said nothing about, I am committed to you. You my boo. He over there, no, she can't. So Angela's like, no, I don't believe her. Wow. Some husband, Angela, but she says she can handle him. A lot of y'all don't like him for her and just cringe every time, but she can handle him. You got to have tough skin. You got to be from the west side of Chicago, child. So then she asked Portia, did she have anything to say about, anything to say about her and her husband? And then she said, then she got up and left the pool. And I'm like, exactly. It's like, Portia, right then and there, you knew you was drunk. You could have apologized to Angela right there at that pool. But what does your little wimpy self do? You get up and leave. And Angela let you leave. And then Angela, if you felt some kind of way about Shamia, because you guys had accepted the olive branch and y'all squashed y'all little beef, you should have said something to her then. How did you come all the way back home and didn't discuss this with these people? Did you take a different flight? Did you sit somewhere else? You just was on mute, kept it cute and on mute? So anyway, back in Portia's mama's house, that's really Portia's house because she kept it in case her assignment didn't work out. You know, her assignment isn't working out, and she knew she may be coming back to Bravo, and she wouldn't be able to film at her house, so she's back at her first house. So Portia invited Dennis over to meet her au pair. And it is so giving keeping up with the Joneses. You know, Shamia has a nanny, so now Portia wants one for one kid. I mean, really? And what do you plan on doing while you have this Alice from Brady Bunch? What are you gonna be doing, Portia? Why can't you handle one daughter? You got your mama, your sister. Why do you need a babysitter, an in-home babysitter? What's happening? So this girl is from South Africa, and she will be moving in to take care of Pilar and that dog. And she sits Dennis down after he comes over and meets her. So she's like, why did someone else have to tell me that you were filming on the show? And so production asked too, like, why was you filming behind Portia's back? Because now he has taken over her confessional. Dennis said he wasn't filming. He went to the studio and the cameras were already there. Child, whatever. They rolled the tape like they always do. The cameras was there filming him way before Drew got there. So what are you saying? Stop acting like the cameras was with Drew. They was already in your studio filming you. So Dennis smiles and then he looks at Portia because he is trying to get under her skin. It gives him much pleasure to go to get under Portia's skin because he is trying. I told y'all he's trying to pay her back. Oh, slime ball. And he just be lying. So then he tells Portia that out of respect for her, Drew is no longer signed to him. And so he's told her that you scared her off. So Portia's like, you and Drew need to take accountability. And you said she was trying to sleep with you. And so she reads this text that don't say nothing about that. Dennis replied to Drew was all you had to do was say yes. So she's saying they slept together. She asked, you trying to have, freaky tales with her? And Dennis is like, you misinterpret that. And we know that's what Portia does. Portia misinterprets the American history about Harriet Tubman and this Underground Railroad that didn't have a conductor or no electricity. We already know she misinterprets everything. She misinterprets married men for single men. Ah, child, we know. And so he said, I ain't the one hitting that. And so Portia go ask, well, who is? Why do you care? What you finna do? Go tell Ralph? Why would you even ask about what that girl lady doing with her lady parts? So then it's like, it ain't me. Oh, he sounds just like a cheater, don't he? So Portia says she's done with it. She thinks they should just be homies, like you my brother. What's up? Give me a dap. He said, I ain't dapping to that. And he like, brother. And it's like, okay, what's he like? I ain't signing on to that. He tried to act like he gonna kiss her in her mouth. And she jumped back and he, was just playing. So, child, over at Britt's mama's house that she about to sell, I think it's sold and she got to get out. Her and her middle sister, Cher, is packing up the family pictures. Mom said, do that and then come help with this kitchen. And the grandmother is there and it's time to go. House is sold, got to go. They got 30, 45 days to get out. So her sister says, Mom is ready to sell the house, and she's like, you just want to sell the house so you can whore around. And it's like, that is no way to talk to your mama. But she laughs. So I'm just like, okay. But you said this in front of your grandmother and you're talking to your mother. So what is your mama supposed to do? Because it sounds like your father passed away 10 years ago. He bought your mama this house. He didn't even live long enough to enjoy the house. He only made it through the first year of being at this house. It has probably been a rough 9 years living with all the short memories and just him and his stuff and all that. So the sister is looking for the liquor. Where's daddy's stash? And mama said, if you would come around, you would know. Why would some liquor from 10 years ago still be in the cabinets, Cher? So Britt is like, she's a more understanding sibling. She understands mom is selling it because it's the last thing that belongs to their dad. They're sad about it, but she has to move on. That house is probably crippling her growth. She needs to move on. She's still alive, so she's ready to get out of there. The sister mad about it. She lashing out. Oh, good. It was a mess. So her and the mama going back and forth again and back again. And it's like, can y'all stop? The grandma had to chime in. So Britt calls her big sister. The big sister is the more distant sister. And so Cher is crying out to her and acting a fool. And you don't come around and I'm sad and you're not there for me and you don't answer the phone when I call. And the sister is looking at her like, do you love me? And she's like, I do love you. And she looking at Britt like, call me back. Call me back, sis. So grandma said, y'all need to stop this foolishness. And so yeah, it was just a lot going on. They all grieving. The grandma's sick of them because it's probably going on for 10 years, right? And it's like, when do y'all decide it's time to go to therapy? When do y'all decide that Cher needs to go to therapy? Like, when do y'all decide this? So, enough of them. So now it's the day of the Bailey Q. It's raining, thundering, storming. They got to go inside. Britt shows up first. Cynthia's friend is coming. She's a prophet or psychic or medium, whatever you want to be. And, Cynthia wants her there to read everyone's energy because she uses her twice a year. I heard that in the after show. She's not a palm reader, so put your hands down, Kelly. She don't need to read your palms. So this is when Kelly got there. I saw Amy and Moneta. That's her name. I didn't put the Y. Moneta. I saw them there. They show up. And so Kelly and then Angela shows up. And Angela wore yellow because, she's playing into the Big Bird theme. Ooh, child. So the prophet tells Kelly that she needs to focus on new beginnings and that divorce was very depressing. And she said, what happened to the car? Am I jumping? I think she read Brit first. Let me go. Okay, anyway, I can finish this. So the divorce was depressing. And then she asked her, well, what happened to the car? And Kelly's looking like, what? Wait, how she know? Because she in the streets. She ain't no psychic, no prophet. She in the streets of Atlanta too. I'm sure Atlanta is small and everybody talking about everybody, and everybody probably knows everybody or someone that's connected to somebody. Child, please. So what we found out, child, is Kelly's ex-husband gifted her a G-Wagon, a brand new G-Wagon, child, and then he decided not to give it to her and he sold it. Child, she said she only told Britt about it. So she's all thinking this woman is like magic, right? So then she tells Britt first to put herself first and focus on her new business. And then Britt confirms that there is a new business on its way, Bare and Naked. It's a shapewear and lounge line. Okay, girl. So then she tells Angela that her and Charles need a vacation. They've gotten too comfortable. And, when women can do this, you kind of lose your appeal, right? And the romance goes out the door. So she like, y'all need to get away and get back to that, right? And so then the prophet asks, and who is no, she asks who has a Porsche or something. And so he has his eyes on something, she's saying. And so I guess it was Angela. She said, he do. Okay. Shamia's like, he got his eyes on a Porsche, but not Porsche. And that was a little key. And it's like, you know what, Shamia, we was trying to like you. You was a breath of fresh air at first. you getting stale, and I can really see how you and Portia are best friends. You guys are kind of the same person. The only thing that's different is you lucked up with what's her husband, Gerald. You lucked up with Gerald and he changed your life. But underneath the surface, you and Portia are the same person. You are. So, because why would you think that was funny? Cynthia had to tell her, don't do that. Stop. So it's Shamia's turn. And so she said, this is your money making year. And you need to lay low. And so in the after show, Shamia took that as they money might be funny. And I'm like, how did you hear that? She said, this is your money making year. Like, don't you got some songs to put out? And you guys, last night I was coming home from dinner and she was on the satellite, the Never Had song. And I listened to it. She is marketed as Shamia, and girl, that song was rocking, honey. We had a good time coming back home. My friend like, who is Shamia? I'm like, girl, I'll tell you later. Wait, listen to the song, girl. Listen to the song. So she said in the after show, she went home and asked Gerald for the accounts. She wanted to look to see if the money was right because she wanted her kids to go to private school. And Kelly, in her after show, she sits down with Kelly, and Kelly was like, "You think you need to downsize? No, you good. You ain't got to downsize." It was like, girl, Shamia, chill, girl. So Britt, Kelly, and Cynthia are taking shots for good luck. And Angela was like, why y'all doing it? Who was that told? Why? No, I think it was Shamia asking, why y'all taking shots while I'm getting my thing read? And they like, girl, we doing it for good luck. Then Portia walks in. And then Angela says she gets nothing from her until she addresses Nashville. She tells the prophet she is getting divorced. It's Portia. What you gonna tell me that I'm getting divorced? And everybody's not laughing because, like, okay. And so she said, you don't have to read me, just read the press. All my business is in the news, okay? So the prophet tells her that they will get divorced, but they will become friends later. So in walks Drew, late as usual, in her Balmain shirt. She looks good. This girl, honey, this separation, filing for divorce thing is looking good on Drew. It really is. Because she's always been a cute girl. She just never could put herself together. And I guess because that was the stress coming from Ralph. But baby, now that he in the basement, honey, the clothes is clothing. Whoever doing that makeup and styling her and hair, Drew, keep that crew. They got you looking excellent. Now, honey, nobody pointed out the shade with that shirt. Kelly telling her she didn't buy nothing and she can't afford nothing. Did she not come in that shirt like pow, pow? But we know she didn't buy it. They sent that to her. They probably sent it to her as a little clapback from Kelly talking about she didn't buy nothing at my event. So the prophet says that she will talk to Drew in private because she doesn't want to share her information in front of certain people. So what we found out in the after show is that the prophet told her to be more vulnerable amongst these women, and but be careful with who you chilling with. Be careful but be more vulnerable. It's like, well, how do you equate that in this group? How can you be careful and be vulnerable? Like, okay, I don't know how that's supposed to work. Besties, if you know how you can be vulnerable and cautious at the same time, let me know, because I know y'all want to tell me. I know you want to tell me. Be respectful in the comment section. So Britt says the prophet was spot on, and Angela was like, do you have something you want to tell me? Because your energy. So now they about to go back and forth and back again. Can you read? Here go Britt. Can you read the words that are coming from my mouth? And I'm like, mm. So Angela, she got great clap back. She is a good asset to the show. She is actually the MVP of the show this season. We thought it would be Portia, but it's not. And Portia, you gonna let Angela take your title? You are tripping, girl. Are you serious? You're gonna be a friend of. You keep playing. You're gonna be with your second Lauren as a friend of. You gonna give your peach. Angela gonna be holding two peaches. One in her left hand and one in her right. Okay. So she said, so this is Angela responding to Britt. I should be able to with that big A mouth. It sounds like you need to use that mouth more often. That's Britt saying that. I do. but not as much as yours with them stretch marks around it. I said, not the stretch marks around your mouth. OMG, honey. She trying to say you. Nope. Let me be quiet. Britt stands up and says, show me, show me. Angela says, you got miles on your mouth. Child, child. That did it for me, honey. That did it for me. That took me out. You got miles on your mouth. Whew, honey. But the look on Shamia's face, honey, priceless. Priceless. Then Angela calls her a whore. It's like most of y'all are on this couch. Shamia's mouth drops. She is in disbelief. She can't believe it. So Britt says, well, maybe you should be one so you can keep your man. Oh my goodness. Who Drew walks away, honey. She's telling some dude that she can't be over there because she has to protect her peace, honey. So Britt says, your husband doesn't even acknowledge that y'all been married for the last 10 years. Girl, what? Why? Because he ain't buying cars every 2 years and upgrading your ring and you wearing that man out. That man don't like you because he can already tell he gonna be in the poorhouse. He can't even retire. And you guys are reaching retirement age and he ain't gonna be able to. Well, she could know because they're in their 30s, right? But he already see it that he gonna have to leave you because you gonna have him broke and working for the rest of his life. So Angela's like, what are you talking about? The world knows. Britt is like, does the world know about that baby? Ooh, here go Kelly. Yeah, does the world know about that baby though? I was like, shut up, Kelly. So Angela's like, who is the baby? Come with the receipts. So honey Cynthia and brought out her cowbell. She, hold on, calm down, everybody. She done riled the whole crew up, honey. And it's kind of embarrassing because there's a house full of people there and they looking at y'all. And then I did see Cynthia's sister walk over there too, because she trying to make, see what's up. She trying to play security guard. Whoo, child. Drew walks back over. She asks Angela, are you good? Them Chicagoans. Those are the sisters, honey. You good? Yep, I'm good. So Cynthia says she did this to get to a place of peace. And I'm like, a place of peace, Cynthia? You invited the whole crew over for all this mess that's happening. If you wanted to be in a place of peace, you should have went to church. You should have went to a massage therapist. Okay, maybe even a nail shop. But here with this drama, okay. So then she wants to play questions about Juneteenth. They getting it wrong. They loud and wrong. Then Cynthia pulls Angela and Portia to the side into another room so they can talk. I said, okay. It reminded me of Stormy when she got Destiny and Sunny together. And so Angela's like, I just want you to know that when I invited Drew, I thought you would know what my intentions were. And as the night progressed, I started to feel attacked. Portia did not, apologize for attacking her or anything. She was like, well, she wasn't invited and you blew past it. Okay, that may be true. Talk more about that, okay? So then Angela changes it. So I'm like, no, we need to stay on the inviting Drew part. We need to squash that. So they don't. So they go into Angela goes into, well, what happened at 3:00 in the morning, honey? Portia's like, you were supposed to be asleep. I was out there kikiing with my friends. And here she go. Somebody brought something up, and I said, why she always bringing up Charles to me? Huh? So now it's Angela's fault. So if you do sleep with him, it'll be Angela's fault because she brought him up to you over and over and over again. What are you talking about, Portia? And I'm like, no, Portia, you got caught talking crap about Angela behind her back. And you did not understand that her room is right at the pool and she was up. Remember, she said you were supposed to be asleep. I could talk about you when you go to sleep, What a coward. What a sucker. Punch her in the. Never mind. So Angela says, but you said you should F him. Blame it on the alcohol, but you said it. Portia, like, I'm not that person. You're not? What do you mean you're not that person? Um, Ma'am, you were mic'd. You was probably talking hecka loud, calling her Dumbo ears. No, she wasn't all paced up to the window. She was chilling on the phone with her man, and she heard you mention her name. So of course her antennas are gonna go up. You were drunk. You was probably loud because you're having fun kicking and it's loud. You were mic'd, honey. Let's not get it twisted. So in Portia's confessional, she said it was a stupid comment. I shouldn't have made it, and she's sorry. She apologizes in the confessional. She owns up to it in the confessional, but she's not admitting it on screen. It's like, dude. Well, in her scene, I was in the scene. Dude. Dude. What? So Cynthia goes to check on him. And so Portia says, well, she didn't even apologize to me. Excuse you? So then Cynthia's like, well, baby, you said something about her husband. Portia's like, and she said something about mine. Well, you ain't even with yours no more, girl. Move on. Let's stay focused. Like, what is going on with uh, the in the moment and then this confessional? Because you know the confessionals are taped months after. So now you coming back with your accountability, but in the moment you won't be accountable for nothing but being drunk. So Angela apologizes. If I say anything to offend you, that hurt you, I apologize. Then Portia says ditto. Then she apologizes and then they hug. So then Portia leaves and then here comes Angela's fan, honey. We didn't see this fan all day. It's out there storming and raining, but baby, she got hot after Portia hugged her. Now here comes in walks Shamia, because Shamia wants to address Portia leaves, and Shamia wants to address that text message that she read in the beginning of this episode. So Shamia's like, what do I got to do with it? So Angela's like, that's your best friend. She said it to you. And, you as a married woman, we just squashed our beef and we starting on our little friendship. I thought you would have checked your friend about saying something like that. Shamia's like, but it ain't my fight. Y'all been at each other's necks all, for a minute. And so she was just talking crap, and I kiki with everybody. I kiki about everything, girl. I like to laugh. My uncle died. At my uncle's funeral, I laughed because he looked like a pastor. He ain't never stepped foot in church a day in his life. Angela looking at her like, girl, this ain't going nowhere. Never mind. It's like she said, be blessed. So now Shamia in the after show, she's kind of mad because she's like, how did you forgive Portia so quick, but you won't forgive me? And I didn't even do nothing. And that's the point, Shamia. You didn't do nothing. She feels like you should have checked your best friend. Because y'all, and you know why you didn't check your best friend? Because you guys are alike. Well, that was the end of the recap, besties. I'll be back with another recap. Basketball wise returns tonight. I'm gonna review it, so hopefully I'll get the recap out probably in the morning, if not tonight. Depends on how the day goes. But besties, I'll be back. Bye, besties.